Maxx Crosby finally speaks out about the unraveling trade that never happened. And he says he's going to remain a Raider. Exactly what we said he'd say, that keep his head down. I don't care where I play, or I'm going to be amped up to be back with the team. We knew it wasn't going to be negative toward the Raiders. I believe there's some remorse on all sides. There was buyer's remorse. There was also seller's remorse. And there was also remorse that maybe Max could have done better. And I think being, shoved out the door in Baltimore, the way that went down, he might want to stay. And we talked about that on the earlier shows yesterday and today. And that's exactly the way this is playing out. Maxx Crosby speaks out, puts this tweet out there. I'll read it. You can see it right here. WWE reference outside the firebox says, everything happens for a reason. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that shiat. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. Aiyuk news too. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Wow, what a statement. This wasn't some sort of casual, things happen for a reason. I'm a Raider now, I'll prepare as if I'm a Raider. Or as long as I'm a Raider, and I'll put on the Raider gear and I'll work my tail off. This is him saying, I'm back. Run that shiat. And what makes you think he says that? He's had a conversation with the organization. The organization had seller's remorse, I bet. Especially the way this played out. And the everything happens for a reason statement. You don't say that followed by a believe nothing you hear and half of what you see, followed by I am a Raider, period. Followed by I'm back, period. Followed by run that shiat. You don't announce it like that unless the Raiders have said it's happening. He's back. He ain't going anywhere. And let me tell you something. This Raiders defense is going to be absolute fire. We thought it was going to be fire without Maxx Crosby. A little bummed that Max couldn't join the crew and make it even better. But man, the Raiders defense is so much improved. Linderbaum at center. What are we doing here? We're building this thing from the trenches on offense now. All the complainers. And Genty's going to have a field day. Mendoza's going to have a cakewalk of a rookie year to a degree. They brought in Naylor, who we like a lot. And they might not be done in the wide receiver department, especially if they do something creative in the draft. There's a lot of wide receivers that could fall. This is a really, really good squad. Brock Bowers will be healthy. Genty's going to be crushing it. Naylor is such an underrated receiver. And Maxx Crosby, the defensive improvements, the beginning stages of revamping that offensive line. Linderbaum getting what he got, getting a bomb of a contract. Linderbaum's going to be absolutely fantastic for Genty. Not to mention just Kubiak in general, the staff coaching up this offensive line, centered around, no pun intended, Linderbaum. And now we're looking at Maxx Crosby coming back to absolutely destroy. And the announcement is clear as day. This organization and Maxx Crosby are on the same page. This is going to be quite the bounce back for the Raiders in 2026. They might even do serious damage in year one. We said it'd be one of those like Detroit Lions when they flipped it. It was like a warning shot. They weren't quite, playoff contenders, missed the playoffs, but we said this will be the year they show everybody, and then the next year they'll do it. And that's what happened. I think the same thing is in store here, but there might be more of it's a tough division, but there might be more of a little bit of a shock factor here at the end of one calendar year from today, the way we talk about the Raiders in the season they just dropped, not to mention what they're about to do in 2027. A year from today, it's going to be a glorious day. All the Raider haters, their offensive line, how bad they were last year. Last year, remember when, as Tony Soprano said, remember when's one of the most boring forms of conversation. Remember when the Raiders were bad? Remember when last year the Raiders did this and didn't do this? Remember how bad their offensive line is? Can't do anything unless you block for Genty. Oh, Mendoza's going to be a rookie. Oh, Naylor's not a real wide receiver one. Just buckle up, Buttercups, because the Raiders are a-coming. And it's going to be a glorious sight to see, and I'm here for it. I'm here to watch it happen. I'm here to watch the Chiefs get the same kind of treatment, I think, from a lot of people that just want to hate the Chiefs. Kenneth Walker won't stay healthy or won't do anything, or they're two different extremes. The Chiefs are a big name team that people expect a lot of. The Raiders are not, but these are two teams that will be fun to root for because of Kenny Walker, because of Mahomes coming back from the ACL tear. A lot of negative Noahs will be everywhere in regards to that situation. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about all offseason and then into the season with the Raiders players, the Chiefs, and the Chief players. It's gonna be quite a fun ordeal. We'll talk about that. Phone lines will be open in a minute. And, I don't know how long we'll be here tonight. I say that, and then we're here for like 2 hours. But next time I'm at Walmart, I'll take my chances on the chicken, says Simi Valley. Anybody missed that earlier segment? Woo! Woo-hoo! All right. Thank you, Simi. Appreciate you. Oh, standing ovation, by the way. I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Any other super chats, they will be handled in order in which they're received. Let me go over to the Rumble side of the fence. We've got New Age Outlaw probably in the building somewhere. Hag is back. We didn't see Hag until tonight, so glad to see Hag here. Hag's in the building. 420 man, love to see you in the building. Hag dropped a gifted membership. Thank you, Bullfrog, for being here. You guys absolutely rock. Hag to the moon, Bullfrog to the moon, 420 man to the moon. New Age, if he's there. I don't know where Hebrew Hammer is. Does he only show up during the season? I'm not sure, but we'll welcome him back on the Rumble side of the fence when he's there. And again, anybody drops a 500 Bitcoin Rumble wallet tip they have over there, and we start the Rumble show immediately the next day. But at 10K, we're at 6.22K on Rumble, 6.2K on Rumble. I smell meatloaf. Meatloaf. The moment we get to 10K, the Rumble show will begin. We're going to start it off as like one day a week, but we're truly trying to get this thing eventually to a 5 day a week venture on Rumble. But we stream on Rumble every time we're on YouTube, but I mean, it's going to be a Rumble exclusive show. When I say exclusive, we might stream it to YouTube, but it'll be a Rumble geared show. It'll be all about Rumble. It'll be the Rumble show. It'll be, branded the Rumble show, everything. We just might let YouTube come along for the ride, like Rumble comes along for the ride on every YouTube show, We got a super chat by Young dropping the wattage. I smell meatloaf. Young, appreciate you. Young says, rewatching Sopranos again as we speak. My favorite show. Always love your Sopranos references. Do it live. Appreciate you, Young. The Sopranos is the best show ever created. Better than Game of Thrones, better than Walking Dead, better than Breaking Bad. It's the #1 show ever. I think Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones are right up there, but Sopranos, nothing beats it. I don't want to hear The Wire or anybody says The Wire is better than The Sopranos. I like The Wire. He's good, but The Sopranos isn't, that's still Jordan. Everything else is LeBron. Like, I understand it's good. But come on. Thank you, Young. Appreciate you. Now, this other piece of news here, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wild one. We knew that it's from my boy Raj, RSF 49ers. Brandon Aiyuk reportedly is not expected to be released anytime soon. The Niners are trying to say, you know what? You screwed us. We're going to screw you back. And so Adam gets the sense that the 49ers are in no hurry to release Brandon Aiyuk and could try and flip him for a draft pick during next month's NFL draft. That is exactly what he doesn't want. but Brandon Aiyuk, look, you take the entire team's, money, $30 million a year. I know he sacrificed some guarantee money, and they essentially used that guarantee money to go get Mike Evans. So it worked out great for the Niners at the end of the day. But Brandon Aiyuk doesn't know what he's doing. The guy's off his rocker. And that just is such a bad thing for him because teams are going to fill those voids. The voids are being filled across the rosters. And then you got teams that'll draft, they're going to wait until late in the draft to try and dump him for something. And that means that all these teams like the Commanders, and they're all going to fill all their wide receiver spots through rookies. And Aiyuk's going to get totally screwed, just like he screwed the Niners. And that's, crazy when you think about it. But Aiyuk, everyone thinking Aiyuk's going to be some grand, wide receiver addition for a team during the free agency, period. Well, I got news for you. He's not available right now. And the Niners are making that abundantly clear that that's by design. That's the sting the man who's driving 90 mile an hour by the stadium, giving him the bird. Well, the Niners responded with their own bird. And they said, you're sitting on the team, and you're not going to find all these good, wholesome landing spots. You're going to go somewhere that's not very good. And, you screwed us, and we're done with you. But not yet. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it. John says the Raiders missed their opportunity to trade Crosby sooner. They shouldn't have done anything. John, it's exactly what it needs to be. I don't know what you're talking about. They're happy to have him back. He's happy to be back. It's meant to be. It should never have happened. They didn't miss nothing, John. The Raiders are coming for everybody. I don't know if you heard the memo, John.
I smell meatloaf.
John, I think you're confused. I think you think something else is going down a little different than Crosby's here to stay. Crosby ain't going away. Crosby is going to turn defenses or offenses into hay. Crosby is going to, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. John, get with the program, bro. We're firing up the big board. Not right now, Daniel. We're going through free agency right now. We'll get to the big board stuff when this is all kind of dying down. I'm not saying I won't do anything tomorrow night or the night after that, but we'll get to the big board. We'll be doing draft after draft after draft. We got a whole offseason to smash midnight drafts. Right now, we're going through a bunch of the meat and potatoes of the free agency stuff. But if anybody wants to smash a draft right now using code Smitty, you'll get your first deposit matched 50% all the way up to $1,000. Using code Smitty. The link is in the description. John says agreed. John, you can't just point up above and say agreed. So many things have been said. No one knows what you're agreeing to. But imagine thinking that the Raiders screwed up here, John. Like either way you go, you're winning. 2 first rounders, you might miss on them. Look at Michael Williams for the Niners. You just never know when you're going to hit on some of these players. The Falcons, have missed time and time again on it. First rounders are not a lock. Second rounders are not a lock. Future first rounders, you don't know where they're going to be. The best move was to keep, in a sense, Maxx Crosby. It was nice to get picks. It worked out. It penciled out. It was fine. Either way, it was good. But there's no regret here, John. I don't know if you were expecting the Raiders to be upset tonight. I don't know if you think they feel like they messed up, John. I think they had seller's remorse, and they're very glad to have this thing patched up. And when you get in like a fight with a cousin or a friend or whatever, and you go through turmoil, but then you end up building stronger. It's like working out a muscle. You tear the muscle, then rebuild stronger on top of it. That's how muscle growth happens. Slight tears, rebuild, slight tears, rebuild, slight tears, rebuild, slight tears, rebuild. This relationship between Maxx Crosby and the Raiders may have just gotten stronger, bro. They may have said, we should never have got rid of you. Do you mind if you stay? We want you to stay. And Maxx Crosby said, water under the bridge. Let's go tear it up. And this relationship might be better than ever. Unless he knew his knee was done. Let me just ask you a question, MK. Did you not listen to a word Max just told you? The guy is going to be as good as ever. I don't know what makes you think this at all. He just told you, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. And you're out peddling the same nonsense that other people are peddling, that Maxx Crosby's knees mangled. Other teams are going to wait and see until he's healthy before. That's all a fugazi, bro. It's all a fake narrative. Did you not understand what had happened? This has nothing to do with Maxx Crosby's health. I don't understand how people still believe that. How did anybody get tricked into thinking the Ravens didn't pass him through the physical process because they actually were worried about his knee or something? It had nothing to do with his health. That was the whole point of why this unraveled and why the Ravens are in such a bad light with other teams. It had nothing to do. There's no one waiting to see if his knee's going to be okay. Everyone knows what time it is. He just had surgery, bro. It has nothing to do with this hell. Why did they back out then? Go watch my show. I did a whole thing on it. MK, I can't catch you up and hold your hand on the entire process. We did a whole live stream on it. Okay, phone lines are open. Dial in. We're going to discuss these two topics along others. You can call in and I'll explain it to you if you want. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I had a lot of people DMing me going, Smitty, does this mean that all the teams are waiting to see when he's healthy, when he passes his physical, then they're going to maybe trade for him? Bro, really? Really? Are you that gullible? Bro, no one's going to pass the physical. You could say whatever you want. Our physical parameters are that he can run a 4.5 minute mile right now, a week off of crutches. like you knew he was a week off of crutches. How do you fail a physical? You don't fail a physical. He didn't fail a physical. He failed their assessment. He failed their appraisal value, which is what I said over 24 hours ago, and then Schefter repeated it today. He failed his appraisal because they wanted to wiggle out of the trade. They had buyer's remorse. While Maxx Crosby was walking through the facility, they had in the back, going through the back doors, ushered through the facility in a different pathway so they didn't cross paths. They had Hendrickson in the building working out a contract, and they finagled their way out. Buyer's remorse. Kind of wild. Yeah, Raiders are coming for everybody. Travis, you're live.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, like you said, the Ravens realized, we can have Hendrickson, who's, not as good as Crosby, but very good, and we can have our 2 first-round picks. And legally, we can get out of this without doing anything, which isn't good for them, though, in the long run, because, like you've said, teams are already speaking out, saying, like, we don't trust them. That was a dirty move, because technically it's not illegal, but, that sets a precedent you don't want happening, where these teams handshake on a deal and then go sniff around for a better deal. If that better deal pops up, then you can just back out. That's not something the NFL wants happening.
Yeah. John says, I just Googled it. Good, John. So glad you're on the Google. And so glad the Google told you what to think. Didn't Max just tell you, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see, John? But you just pulled up the old Google master. You Googled whether he should have had surgery or not. And what did John say? John, why do you disagree with everything? Why you even watch this show? I don't even know why you watch this show.
Meniscus.
All you do is disagree or complain. I think. Travis, am I wrong? I don't know that I see John say a positive thing ever. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's like 70-30.
Look, Travis going to bat for you, John.
Pretty heavy negative.
Travis is honest. He'll go to bat even if someone's like spitting in his face. They're like, Travis is trash. And Travis goes, he sometimes does make good points while Travis is he's just super even keel. Like this, Travis, you ever umpire? You'd be a pretty good umpire. I bet you've umpired. I bet you have. I bet Travis is like people yelling in his face, just umpiring.
I was a pitcher when I played. So.
Even keeled umpire.
You can't lose your cool if you're pitching.
I just Googled and it said he had surgery on a part of a knee you don't want to have surgery on. You don't really want to have surgery anywhere in the knee, John. I'll tell you that right now. And now they don't get the 2 first.
He does the same thing with Neighbors. He doesn't think Neighbors can bounce back. Either.
Okay. John's nice. Good, cool story, John. Yeah, I mean, like I've said to everybody, this owner in Baltimore doesn't care. And by the time he leaves, which will be within 3 to 10 years, he says he's done. He's not passing the team down to his family. He's selling. He's getting out. He doesn't want to be the owner anymore. He wants to win a couple of championships and get out. And so he doesn't care about, like, making bad relationships, between organizations. And when he does leave, no one's going to hold, the father or the son accountable, even though it's not going to be passed down. Bad example. The buyer to the previous owner's faults. No one's going to hold that against the new owner that comes in. Is that happening in Washington? No. So there's definitely going to be maybe some rocky road finishing out the last year or two. Or he says if he won a Super Bowl or two before 10 years, he'd be out a lot sooner than 10 years. So he wants out. And that's why I think he's not done. Like, the Ravens might go after A.J. Brown. They might do something splashy because he's really trying to just win and get the hell out and sell, which is weird. You know, it's not a very good vibe. It's kind of like if you work for somebody and they're like, hey, guys, appreciate you being my employees. Just want to let you know I don't want to be here in like 2 or 3 years from now. So work hard for me. We'll be selling this place to new ownership. Who knows what's in store for you when that happens, but glad to have you on the team. So it's kind of weird. Not saying it's going to work, but there's definitely, you know, a little bit of he wants to get the hell out of Dodge. Let's stock up and bulk up right now. So, but the thing is, you know, teams are going to be upset over this. No doubt about it. This is a bad back out of a trade. And this is like, you know, this is a handshake amongst men. And, you know, it's just crazy. This is crazy. But here's the thing that's funny, though, real quick before you. Here's the thing that's funny is, like, people are going to try and spin this in the media because the media just wants clicks. They're like John. They just want to, like, cause chaos or whatever. But Max is telling you that there's no more trades. There's no more trade talk. So when people say, oh, the Dallas Cowboys, no, it's not happening. Max would not have said what he said. And if I got to eat crow on this, I'll eat crow on it all day long, and I'll blame it on Max. But my logic is telling me that Max would never, ever write what he wrote right here if there was still a chance he could get traded. If he had a conversation with this Raiders organization and it ended like, hey, we'll still probably kick the tires or everything's good for right now. Just if it was even remotely cloudy, he wouldn't have said this. This conversation that he had between the Raiders and himself had to go, Max, I just want to let you know this didn't go the way I wanted it. I regret trading you. And I'm so glad that this went the way it went. We don't want you to go. We're committed to not trading you. What do you think about that? And Max probably said, you know what? Grass is always greener. I just went over to that side of the grass real quick and they trashed me. Like maybe I should have been more receptive to this. And no, Max, it's all on our side. Are we in agreement that you're not going anywhere? Can we count on you being a Raider for the next? We want to build this whole thing around you, this defense around you. We want you to lead this defense. We look at the improvements we made. That is how the conversation went. I can almost guarantee, which means that no matter what the offer is, they will not trade him because they've already committed to him. They're not going to back. You can't back out on the back out of the back out. Like, there's no way. Even if the team said, we'll give you 3 first-rounders for Max, they probably couldn't do it. This is the one thing I say, anybody's tradable. This is the one thing. If they gave him their word, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. There's no way Maxx Crosby would have wrote what he wrote in the way he wrote it in the number of times in this that guarantees he's not getting traded unless the Raiders organization and him said, we're back, baby. Right? Right. No matter what. No matter what. Travis, go ahead.
Yeah, and Vegas doesn't have any leverage either because regardless, even if his knee is going to be fine, which it probably will be, other teams will use that and say, well, I don't know about paying 2 first-rounders again, So they're in a spot where it makes the most sense to keep them. People will look at that flying eagle, though, in the message and say, he's going to the Eagles. Philly fans will say that.
They probably will.
They will.
Niners
They're
fans.
Trade A.J. Brown for him.
Niners fans are already going, that fire looks a little red. I think there's some red in there. Yeah. You see a little Niner red in there? I think there's his message here. That looks like 49er fire. I don't know. Is this supposed to be the substation on fire? throwing electrodes through Maxx Crosby's body, growing his hair even longer. And yeah, there's the Raider icon, for better or worse, that logo for the Raider icon. That tells you exactly what you need to know. But the fact that he says, "I'm back, period. Run that shiat." He's not messing around. I'm a Raider, period. I'm back, period. Like, there's so much intention here. And there's so much, someone gave him the assurance of a lifetime. He ain't going anywhere. Clip it. Clip it. Aiyuk. Good on the Niners, man.
Good and bad. Just be done with them. Like, this is what I don't like about the Niners is well, from a personal standpoint, I say good, screw him over because he kind of screwed you guys.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have signed him in the first place.
Right.
The games he was playing.
Another Shanahan misstep. You know, this is why Shanahan is one of the worst coaches in the league in the offseason. And he's one of, if not the best offensive coordinator during the regular season. And then he's bad at both during the playoffs. So before anybody says something ridiculous and you embarrass yourself and you say, "Oh, yeah, coach of the year, real bad coach," think about what I just said and try and absorb it. Because it might explain some things to you. One of the worst coaches in the offseason handles personnel worse than the Ravens. And then when the in-season comes and he's got to offensive coordinate, his offensive coordinator abilities are so good that they mask anything going wrong with the coaching side of things. And he ends up looking like one of the best coaches in the league because he's in offensive coordinator mode. I don't know how difficult this is for people to process, but for whatever reason, people don't understand it. And then when it comes playoff time, the one thing he's good at, offensive coordinating, he screws up. Time and time and time and time and time and time again. John Lynch is involved. Jed York's involved. The blame doesn't just go on Shanahan, but Shanahan has been in charge a lot more than he wasn't of all things for a while. John's been getting involved more and more, but John hasn't proven to be the best in the offseason either. They're horrible at first, round, second round picks since Adam Peters left. They just botched him. I mean, to pass on Cooper DeJean, who the whole world knew was the pick. All the Niner fans were so ecstatic. Everybody had their graphics ready across the Niner communities. My boy Raj posted it. Raj actually, it's not on Raj. It's not Raj's fault. But Raj posted it because Twitter, draft Twitter, announced the pick. Cooper DeJean, boom, Raj posted it. Everybody posted it. And then it was like, wait a minute. They changed it to Ricky Pearsall. Never mind. And a lot of rumors were that they were trying to find the rat in the organization. And somebody ratted that they were picking Cooper DeJean, and then they switched it. But, I mean, just Mikael Williams, whatever. It's been horrible. Ricky Pearsall. Oh, but he's pretty good. Okay. We're going to get that comment in a second. But Ricky, I don't understand. Ricky could be pretty good. How's Cooper DeJean playing? Pretty good.
Right, that's the issue.
Pretty good. Ricky might be pretty good. Cooper DeJean is pretty good. How's the substation? Why don't we look into that? If you made me head coach tomorrow, I would have looked in it tonight. I would have looked into it tonight. Before they gave me the job, I would have already had an answer for the substation. I would have called up our president and said, "Can you take care of it?" While you're in the middle of all these other things, is there a way to just eliminate the substation? Just put it in the plans? Because that thing's got to go. All right, Travis, what else we got?
My bad. I was just typing back at someone was saying Maxx Crosby's a thug in Baltimore. Probably didn't want him. And Maxx Crosby's one of the better guys in the league from what I've witnessed. seems like a really good dude. So
Yeah, I like Maxx Crosby. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
But I mean, Aiyuk, like, I wouldn't be afraid to take him on as a flyer, just because very rarely can one of these players, especially wide receivers, ruin a team when they're in these situations where they have to be on their best behavior, where they're trying to get a new contract. So I don't think it's all that big of a risk for a team to take. So, I wouldn't mind seeing him, I wouldn't even mind seeing him go to Washington, or I'd take him on the Patriots, but he needs to be in addition, an afterthought type of thing. He can't be one of the big moves that these teams disguise and say, oh, we're bringing in this talented guy. He's got to be an afterthought, and if he rises above, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think man, I think, Washington, I don't want him there. I want him to go after BTJ. I just want him to swing for the fences,
for sure.
Go get BTJ, give up a first rounder or whatever. Or you can't give up that. You can give up you can do a pick swap. You could give up do they have a future? Does Washington have their 2027 first rounder? I think they do.
I think they do.
I wouldn't give up.
I think they
7.
They only have 6 picks this year, but I think next year they have their picks. I can tell you in 1 second. I got it right here.
I mean, you can't give up the top 10 pick, but I do whatever I could. I mean, you give up a couple second rounders. I don't know if that would get it done. It sounds like a second might get it done. You give up 2 second rounders to get BTJ. Washington needs to do it.
If the price on BTJ is really a second rounder, or a second and a fifth or something, arguably 30 teams are stupid for not going and taking that chance. I mean, that a second rounder, I get really good players come out of the second round, but top 10 wide receivers, top 15 wide receivers do not grow on trees, especially big guys with his speed, his athleticism.
Yeah. Bruce, try calling in again. This other Bruce, this is a different Bruce. Bruce says, why did they say no enlighten me? We don't need to enlighten you, Bruce. We don't need to. You can use your imagination. If I got to explain to you the Maxx Crosby situation after doing multiple live streams, I don't know how to help.
He's the one who said he's the one who said he's a thug.
Yeah, Bruce, no offense, but this isn't the topic for you today. Why don't you reset, come back in the room, or maybe you need to reset, come back in tomorrow. I don't know. This topic. This topic's not the one.
Ricky Pearsall, people, do not pass go, do not collect 200, do not talk crap on Ricky Pearsall.
I'll do whatever I want.
Top 24. Ricky Pearsall is good. And I don't think Ricky Pearsall is bad.
No, but he's not a first rounder.
Comparison to
like that's who said, whoever's talking great about Ricky saying do not pass go, if that was the same Bruce guy, whoever. Who said Ricky's trash? Who? Did I say Ricky's trash? I said Ricky's a bad first round pick. That's not his fault that he went in the first round. It's not Matthew Golden's fault he was drafted in the first round. These are horrible picks. Horrible picks. It's not their fault. The expectation is so high. They didn't do anything wrong. Where have I said that Ricky Pearsall is a bad player, or that he won't be decent in fantasy or whatever? But he's not a first rounder. The Niners screwed up royally. And I'll say whatever I want about Ricky Pearsall. And what I want to say about him is he's not a good first round pick, but I still like him. He's maybe a second round pick, but he's not a first round pick, pal. He's not that guy, pal. Let's see. Let me go over it real quickly to Brucey. Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty.
Bruce is loose. Bruce, yeah. What's up, Mr. Robeson?
I got a quick question for you. Now that the Redskins or Commanders signed the tight end, do you think they're still going to go after Sadiq?
I don't know. that ship might have sailed, unfortunately, but maybe not. I mean, you never know. But the thing you got to remember is people don't. They're not sure who they're going to be able to get, who's going to fall, and sometimes they make preemptive moves and they still make the draft selection that they wanted to and they would have, and they didn't want to take the risk. But I don't know. I think it's possible that Okonkwo, who he's referencing, Okonkwo signed with the Washington Commanders. It's a good pick. I think you probably have Sadiq going somewhere else, unfortunately, but I still love Sadiq in a lot of other places, so it doesn't really bother me too much, but I would have liked it to be an option. I think Sadiq going to the Saints would be, I guess, interesting. Juwan Johnson's pretty good, though, and it signed another tight end, didn't they? KC would be really intriguing for the long term, but it would kind of put a damper on his 2026 rookie campaign, at least the earlier part of it. I think the Bengals would be intriguing, but there's a lot of mouths to feed there. Miami would be a disaster for me because, well, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's not a disaster because I think Willis being there really makes me feel a lot better. And in Sadiq, and then you'd have a little bit of ability to keep H-hands, facing less stacked boxes potentially. Yep. So maybe it work out okay. I can't stand Hafley. I think Hafley's horrible, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But Dallas, they're not going to do anything. Pitts is in Atlanta. Raiders got Bowers. Tampa, they brought Auden back, I think, but Jets. Oh, I hate for him to go to New York. Laporta in Detroit.
I think they will because of Mason Taylor. They like him.
Yeah, Minnesota asked Hawkinson to restructure, so Carolina.
Yeah, he could.
Man, if he fell that far. Pittsburgh.
It's like Carolina's like okay. It's not awful, but it's not ideal either for fantasy.
Man, Philly, I could see what if Philly got him.
The thing with Hawkinson
is Goddard.
He restructured, but he's only under contract for this year. So they could take him if
maybe
he falls.
And Goddard probably is staying because they delayed the letting him hit free agency to work out that contract, which is so weird because nobody saw that coming. Sadiq to Buffalo, I would want to say, and these teams are gonna have to move up because he's not falling this far. But we're literally not finding like the ideal partner through entire 11 through 18. So like that's why we're still going down this list. Philly, Chargers, no. Pittsburgh probably would take him. I don't know, man. I think he's so good he could go in the top 10. But you just never know. Teams might that don't need him in that top 10 and they just move on. He could just all of a sudden free fall because these teams don't need him. I don't know. I'm not sure where I want him. If he gets into this 11 territory and nobody makes any moves, maybe Miami isn't the worst place. I don't know. It's not what I want.
He only has Waddle.
Yeah, Miami would be okay. It would be hard to do, but if he falls into the 15 to 20 range, I think Denver would try to move up for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope KC does it.
That would be a great place for him.
Yeah. Let's hope KC doesn't allow a bad team to take him. And it would suck for year one in some ways.
I don't mind it, though.
But maybe Kelsey doesn't make it through the year. And there was talk last year he could play spot. He could play like, it could be on a snap count. So there's a way that Sadiq gets in there and still gets like 8 targets or something,
He's like a wide receiver too. He plays a much different game than Kelsey does. Like Kelsey's a wide receiver, but he's just finding little soft spots and he's not as fast as he used to be. Kelsey isn't the Kelsey of old. And he could learn a lot from Kelsey, but he can also do different things that Kelsey can't right now with his speed.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a good long-term spot for sure, 100%. So I'm fine with the KC one. Let's just hope he goes somewhere good. Bruce, what else you got? And rock out. I saw you called earlier. Call back in if you want. Malik Willis, top 8 QB, not top 8 QB, but Malik Willis is going to feed the people around him just fine.
With Daniel Jones re-signing, how does this transition tag thing work? Is it like, okay, now you don't have to give us picks anymore because he's staying put?
Well, there's no more tag when a player signs. You tag a player to hold him in place, then when the contract gets ironed out, you're good. The tag's not irrelevant anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure on that because he was on a different tag than franchise tag.
Yeah, no, all these tags are either to hold the player in place to work out a long-term deal, and if not, like in a franchise tag, the conditional or unconditional, essentially they're eventually going to be asked if there's no deal made, sign your tag and play on your $28 million per year quarterback franchise tag. And then they're like reluctant to sign it. But once they sign it and it's, the deadline's passed and everything, they're stuck on that contract all year. There's zero negotiating in the middle of the year, extending it later. It's done. You play on that franchise tag number the entire season. So they're not, when you're on the tag, you're not signing and locking in your contract. You're trying to negotiate the long-term deal to sign that. Let me answer the super chat real quickly from Arthur. Arthur, appreciate you dropping the super wad, my boy.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
Arthur, appreciate you. Arthur says, should I trade CD and a 26 2.11 for Scary Terry, Jalen Warren, and 227 first and a 27 second? It'd be easy to say don't trade CD Lamb, but I don't know where these first rounders are going to be. You don't reference if they're early or late.
All depends on that. Yeah.
If you said, Smitty, there's a near 95% chance one of these is the number one, then I'd take the picks for sure. But if they're mid, like you're feeling like the word mid will be used about both of them, or one's mid to late, or they're both mid to late, or they're both exactly mid, I don't know. I mean, it could go either way. If I don't have a shot at an early pick, I don't want to do it. If you're giving me a real good shot at the top 1 to 2 picks, then it makes sense because Jeremiah Smith, and then you're always going to have a running back in the mix no matter what. Look how good Love looks right now. A year and a half ago, when you're like, I don't think it could be Love, we knew Love would probably be the number 1 overall pick, and it just manifested in the hype grew and the talent, it showcased every week. At the 1.1 or 1.2 is going to be worth it. Because Scary Terry still has a good year left, but that's about it, And you get another first rounder. It's a lot of value. And there's a world where CeeDee Lamb never returns to the top 1, 2, 3, or 4 overall, and he's always like 5 to 10 because of Pickens. But there's a world where Pickens gets traded on the tag because Jerry screws it up later. There's so many different variables at play. So if it's early pick or a chance at an early pick, then I think we have something to talk about. But if you're telling me it's probably not going to, neither one's going to be the 1 or the 2. Probably not even the 3, then I'd rather keep CeeDee Lamb. Go ahead, Travis. You were going to speak on it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when it comes to figuring out, can this pick be the number 1 overall? I think a lot of times people have to take a step back because everyone has different values of players. And there's a lot of teams that, even I would do it sometimes, where you look at the team and go, man, that team's going to be terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely the way.
And think of some different situations. You realize, okay, it might not be that bad. Or if a few, moves get made, like we talked about with Ron Navy's team last year, if he makes a few trades, that team, there's no way it's going to. So you have to be careful,
yeah.
assuming things on having
Arthur says, can I call in? Arthur, is this you on the phone line? You're live.
No, sir. This is William from Pensacola.
Oh, well, that's right. We still like you, William. Arthur, yes, you can call in, and thank you for the super chat. Go ahead. I might interrupt you and patch in Arthur, but go ahead, William.
Yeah. No, I just want to piggyback on what you said about Sadiq and Dolphins, a little bit of Havley. I think if they're going to get Willis, which still a lot of it, this thing is split with the fan base and even nationally of why we're even bringing him in.
Well, you have
You
him.
would
It's
think,
not good. Maybe
yeah,
happening. Yeah.
but it's like you want to make this pick look good, or you want to make the signing look good. You either got to get Freeling, that offensive lineman. You got to get Vega. You got to get a weapon like Sadiq. Maybe go Lemon. Maybe go, the Arizona State wide receiver. I think that we're looking at weapon and then defense after that. And Sadiq, thinking about it, they ain't got nothing besides Waddle. So I think he would do well.
Yeah, I think. Well, they do have a lot. I mean, you have Waddle, you have Achane. There's as much there really as some teams have. Majority of teams have. I mean, those are pretty good weapons. But I don't think it's too much. I think is what you may be trying to say. It's not too much to make it to where Willis can't facilitate. And again, Willis has some impressive stats. If you get on over to my thefantasyfootballshow.com, where I'm going to go look up Malik Willis real quickly, screenshot his advanced stats that I have. Let me do that real quickly and put that on screen. So Malik Willis, these are his advanced stats. I tried to do this the other night, but then I broke something and I fixed it. But I was trying to add a different feature, and I think I screwed something up. But it's fixed now, and here's the Malik Willis advanced stat metrics that I have on his player page. But as you can see, the man was completion percentage second in the league, rushing touchdowns 19th, first in the league in yards per attempt, 8th in the league in passing ADOT. Like, there's a lot of great numbers here, and this isn't just what's the best way to describe, maybe a Goff when Goff was not the greatest, and he's just kind of there. Like, that's what a lot of people I think are thinking Malik's going to be. He's going to be just bland and like Geno Smith at Geno's best day. Like, that's what a lot of people are unfortunately throwing around comparison wise, and it's like, man,
which is
Malik,
crazy.
but Malik Willis could be special. He could be special. He might not be, but he could be special. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that he could be special, not just guesstimation or, hey, you got a contract, maybe he's good. No, we've seen him look really good. He averages 40 yards a game rushing. He's so elusive.
Right.
And then you give him Achane and the ability to dump off to Achane. Guess who's going to have a better completion percentage than he did last year? Malik Willis. Malik Willis will be, because he's going to have these little easy dump offs to Achane. It's a good situation. I still have yet to do the Achane video, but I was very concerned about Achane, very concerned about Bijan, very concerned about London. The Tua Tagovailoa signing doesn't, cure all the world's problems. But it certainly gives us an inability of Stefanski to screw up his quarterback situation, because you have two players that can feed Bijan and still feed London, whether they win or lose. It doesn't matter. And then Achane, we needed a quarterback. It's been you lose Miami Mike, comes Malibu Mike. You lose Tua Tagovailoa, who just keeps throwing and dumping it off to Achane. We're in real concern mode. But Malik Willis was the antidote, and we'll do a video on that as well.
Yeah, and thinking about even next year, like this roster in Miami, they're so bad. Like on the defense, they literally have one. I think they signed Usay today. I mean, this is going to be a bottom 5 defense. Like, even if they pick up Rasul Douglas from last year, like, this is not going to be a good defense. So even if they go weapon in the first round, I don't see how they're picking out of the top 7 next year. Like, they're still going to be bad. But even if Willis is good, which I expect him to be, I still have them picking like easily in the top 10, and maybe they get like a Jeremiah Smith next year. That's the hope anyway.
Arthur, call that phone number. I just threw it up there. We'll be waiting.
Okay. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Anything else, William? You mind if I call you Bill?
No, yeah, that's fine, man. That's
okay. All right, Bill, anything else?
That's it, bud.
All right. Appreciate you, William. Thank you. Later. Call back anytime. Bruce, you're loose. Anything else?
Last thing I gotta say is Kyler's visiting the Vikings tomorrow, and I hope he signs.
Kyler is a Viking.
I hope
that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Let me get Arthur.
Said he was gonna.
Hold on one second, Bruce. Kyler's gonna be a Viking. I almost guarantee that. I can't fully guarantee it, but I almost guarantee Kyler is a Viking.
I hope so, because he said him and his rep said, "Oh, we're gonna shop our availability around." I hope he just signs tomorrow.
Yeah,
you got to say that for negotiations.
I mean, some of it does depend on like what the offer is. How much money is he guaranteed by the Cardinals?
36 or 38 between there.
There was something saying that Kyler kind of wants someone to offer more than the minimum, though, to show that they're serious about him.
Yeah, but I don't think a team's going to, because then it just you have to. So the way that the contracts work is that if you have Kyler's getting paid. Let me see what he's.
That's such a Kyler thing to do.
Yeah. Hey, Kruger, how much guaranteed money does Kyler Murray get from the Cardinals after his release?
Murray will receive $36.8 million in guaranteed money from the Cardinals for the 2026 season after his release. The Cardinals avoided triggering an additional $19.5 million guarantee for 2027 by releasing him before the deadline.
So let me explain this, and you correct me if I'm wording it wrong to tell the audience. But basically, essentially, his next trading partner is going to offer him the league minimum of $1.8 million, because the Cardinals are paying him $36.8 million to play football. And the team that is going to take him on is not going to offer him more than $36 million. So therefore, this is going to take the Cardinals are eating this amount. Kyler's intention is to go shop himself around to try and get a $40 million deal or something, so that new team's responsible and that the Cardinals are off the hook is slim to none in happening. So wherever he goes, he's probably getting the league minimum offer, right, Krug?
You've got the gist of it. The offset works like this. Whatever he earns from a new team reduces what the Cardinals owe him. If he signs a big deal elsewhere, the Cardinals are off the hook for part of that guaranteed sum. So yeah, the next team might offer a smaller deal, possibly the minimum, because Murray's already got that big chunk from Arizona. Unless he gets a hefty new contract, the Cardinals are still paying a big portion.
So explain to me why, though, you wouldn't say, because basically it takes away from it, right? Like if someone pays him 2.8 instead of 1.8, the difference that is being subtracted off the 36.8, right?
Exactly.
So
it's a subtraction game for the Cardinals.
Right.
Every dollar he earns elsewhere reduces what they spend.
So if
the new team pays him $2.8 million instead of $1.8 million, that extra million reduces the Cardinals' obligation by $1 million. In short, whatever the new team pays him is deducted from that $36.8 million the Cardinals owe. So the higher the next contract, the less the Cardinals
which makes
pay.
no sense, because if you're wanting the team that's bringing you in to do well and surround you with good players, there's no way in hell you want them spending more money when the money would come out of the Cardinals' pocket anyway, right?
Exactly. If you're Kyler, you want that next team to have as much flexibility as possible.
Because if they paid even $10 million, then all you're doing is making the Cardinals pay $26.8 million. So if this number is not higher than $36.8 million, Kyler asking, and this is what Travis was saying, Kyler asking for anything above 1.8 is one of the most selfish Kyler Murray moves known to man, because you're only saying, hey, I want you to pay more, not the Cardinals.
You've nailed it.
You interrupted yourself.
Unless Kyler is negotiating something truly massive, asking for more than the minimum doesn't really benefit anyone but him. The new team would have less cap room, and the Cardinals' financial burden wouldn't shrink much. So if he's focused on winning or giving his next team resources, taking that minimum and letting the Cardinals foot the bulk of the bill is the way to go.
All right, thank you. All right, so Travis, if you're correct in that, I wasn't trying to say you were wrong. That is such a dumb move by Kyler. Like, hey, let's give the team I'm going to less money so we can build less.
And maybe that's something he backs off of or whatever, but it was a report saying he's looking for, a little something from a team to prove that they're, committed to him, which it's like
stupid.
they're not committed to you, you have to prove it, you know. And for him, it's just like the Tua. It was a great advantage because they get to pick purely on football. Where's the best place for me to go to continue my career, to turn my career around? So he shouldn't even be thinking about money.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right.
Hopefully that's the case, that he doesn't do that.
Yeah. Didn't we have Arthur? Did I help you yet? You're
Arthur.
live.
Yes, I'm here, Smitty.
Arthur,
So, can I just say what this stems out of, or what? So I messed up in the beginning of the year because it was a brand new Dynasty draft. I traded my T. Higgins for his Travis Hunter, and I traded 2 firsts, and I screwed up. Okay.
Okay.
But then I used this is the same guy I'm trading with right now. So now I figured out a way to get CeeDee Lamb by trading Drake London, Scatterboo. I know I overpaid, but I got a first back that turned into the 1.04 this year. So he's basically giving me right now Terry McLaurin, Jalen Warren, those 2 first for.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so McLaurin. All right, this is the super chat question, right?
Yes.
All right, let me pull up that super chat. That might be easier. So hold on. It was it was right here. Okay, so yeah, we got it right here. 2.1 and CD, and then for Scary Terry Warren. Okay, go ahead.
2.11.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the question?
Okay. My thing is, 2027 is a deep draft. I could probably get Fernando Mendoza, which I need this year with the 1.04, because all I have is Patrick Mahomes and Jacoby Brissett. So I'm trying to fill that quarterback void with Mendoza. And I know the 2027 draft is pretty deep for receivers, running backs, almost quarterbacks, or whatever the case is, even for 2027. So even the second is going to be pretty deep. You don't think this is a good trade, or should I ask for a little more just so I can make the trade?
I don't really want to do the trade. I feel like you're getting talked into the trade. I think you said that you screwed up and this guy made you do a bad deal last time. It sounds to me like he's forcing you to do this again, and you're just heading down the same road. Like, bro, the 2027 draft, you telling me it's pretty deep. You still got to land the picks, man. There's no guarantees whatsoever. Having a deeper 2027 draft means zero to me. Like, I'm ignoring it. It doesn't. Is there a chance you're getting a top 3 pick with one of these picks? If the answer is no, I don't care about those picks at all. They're nice to have when the time comes, but bro, it doesn't matter how deep the draft is. Like, you don't know if you don't know where.
He won the whole thing this year. So I'm taking his pick, and he has my pick of next year, which I was like middle of the pack.
I mean, answer the question: are you going to get a top 3 pick out of this? Do you think?
I can't guarantee it. That's the thing. If I can't guarantee it, then I don't know.
Well, how close can you guarantee it? Is it not good odds?
I would say 3 to 6, probably like 75%.
3 to 6.
Yeah.
75%? I don't know. I'm just going to say I want CeeDee. Yeah, I want a lot more. This isn't it for me. CeeDee Lamb. He's trying to buy CeeDee Lamb on a discount. Right. If CeeDee Lamb bounces back, you deserve 3 first-rounders for him. And if he doesn't want to do it, then he doesn't want to do it. But there's no way I'm doing this trade, man. I'm just not. He doesn't sound – I feel like you're – no offense, but I feel like you're almost probably trying to make it work like – you know, I like how
for the other trade.
Yeah, how much you really believe it's going to be a top 3 pick, you know? How much you really like in your soul.
I don't. Can I tell you my team, just the starters? That way you make a decision if I'm going to be a top 3 pick or not?
Yeah.
Right, because it's his pick he's trading back for.
Yeah, go ahead.
His pick and my pick. So Mahomes is my quarterback.
And by the way, you said something that bothered me. And I appreciate you, pal. Thanks for the super chat. I'm never mad at you. I'm just telling you. You said I need another quarterback like Mendoza because I only got Mahomes and Brissett. You realize you're starting Brissett all year over Mendoza?
Right, but who do I get next season? Does Brissett really keep the job after next season?
Who knows? But all I know is Brissett was a top 5 QB the entire season he started. So I think we're scrambling to get another quarterback to damage your lineup doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me when Brissett's going to be just fine this year. So I don't know, and I can't guarantee that.
You
but
said, can you guarantee me the Chiefs are going to be a top 2 pick?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really guarantee me that Brissett's going to be starting all year either. You know?
Yeah, but you can't guarantee me that Mendoza is going to be better than Brissett, even if Brissett's not playing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we can keep going back and forth. You can't guarantee me. I can triple stamp your double stamp. Okay, go ahead. Mahomes, Brissett,
Harvey. So sorry, Mahomes, Brissett, Hendy, Harvey, CeeDee Lamb, Pickett.
Hold on. I can't write that fast. Hendy, Harvey, CD,
Pickens.
Jeez, it's a good team. Okay.
Loveland, Kraft.
Jeez, man, come on.
No way this is a top pick.
Hunter.
Good team.
Okay.
I'm just telling you my best players. I got Pittman. I got Naylor. I got Freiermuth. And the rest are just.
Look, Naylor's going to be pretty.
Flex, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is. Naylor's going to be pretty crafty. Obviously, your running backs are going to determine whether you're competing or not this year. Whether Harvey and Hendy are still, elite, or if Hendy gets elite work and if Harvey stays in his role at least, then your team is going to be a playoff contending top 5 contender. If you don't
1.5 tight end premium.
Tight end premium, even more so with Loveland, bro. And I would try and trade Kraft.
Yeah.
I would try and trade Kraft, bro.
Yep.
It is if I trade Kraft, who will I put in my lineup? That's the thing.
Loveland?
I don't have anybody on.
But I mean, Pittman and Naylor aren't bad. I mean, those guys are not bad. You can still start Kraft. I understand in premium it's not bad. You could hold on him. Don't give him up for nothing. But yeah. I just think there's a world where if you're trying to solve a problem here, whether it's get a running back like Walker, ETN, pay some sort of deal type value because they're older running backs and people are freaking out. But I mean, Kraft and Brissett, or Kraft and you said you could get the pick that could get Mendoza. Kraft in that pick could maybe get you something nice. I'm not going this other direction, bro. You're about to destroy your team.
If I get Tyson with a 1.04, then that kind of solves my little puzzle. I'm just hoping Hendy and Harvey do what they are supposed to do, and then my team is pretty set.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like it's the 1.1 or 1.2 team, bro. I would not be doing this trade. Don't try and I don't know, this trading partner that you're trading with right now seems like it's bad direction as you go in with it. Sometimes there's people that just take advantage of you the right way. It's not saying you're not great at trading or anything like that. I just be careful trading with this individual, because the first thing you said out of your mouth when you called was like, I really screwed up last time. And as if you're trying to swing to get back and make good on that last trade by crushing this one and doing something wild. And then the whole notion of the draft's deep. Don't you think I could maybe hit the lottery? Like you're literally, this is like opening up a pack of cards, bro. You don't know what you're going to get. And to get rid of a team that can win now, for a box you're going to rip a box of cards and get nothing from it, then what do you have? You don't have anything to rebuild with. You don't have anything to win now with. You're just going to be the last place team every single year, bro. If you rip that pack of cards, you're 2 first rounders you're getting, and they're nothing. You're done.
So
right
I have an idea. I spoke to the JJ owner, and if I give him 1.04 in Kraft, because he has no tight end, if I give him 1.04 in Kraft for JJ, I think that solves my problem too. I believe. I think
if you like winning, you do that trade. Yes.
Yep. Good.
Like that's how you trade, bro. How you're trading now is or we're about to is not how you trade. You're taking gambles that you can't guarantee are going to work out, and if they don't work out, you're at a dead end, bro. You're at a dead end. Your team is trash. You'll never recover if you get rid of CD for the 2 first rounders and they don't work out. You have surplus at tight end. Not saying you get rid of it because it's tight end premium. You can use them as a flex. but you have tight end premium tight end value, and I just said trade the pick and Kraft, and you just told me you could get JJ for that. Done deal. End of story. Go do it. Do it live. Your team is on its way.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
It's a fantastic trade.
Okay.
Trade Kraft
All right,
trade Kraft for Buka. Go get Walker for Kraft in the pick, maybe, because Walker's older. People are scared. It doesn't matter. People are scared of Walker, scared of ETN, scared of what other players might you trick someone into giving you?
Kraft straight for Buka. Kraft for Buka.
I mean, I would. Yeah.
How much is it? Just a 0.5 premium for the tight ends?
My back is 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 tight end premium. Super.
So 0.5 additional.
Yeah.
Yeah, go get JJ, bro. That's the easiest trade you can make. And if you can use Kraft in the pick to get ETN, or Kraft in the pick to get Walker, Kraft in the pick to get Cook, Kraft in the pick to get Bucky, Kraft in the pick to get Chase Brown. JT's older. Like, who knows what someone's going to do with the tight end premium makes it a very, very big deal. And then if you go
wide, if I'm wrong, Smitty, would you throw in Pitt if he says no, or like if he can't get JJ, if throwing in Pittman gets the deal done, would you do it? I would.
Yeah, Pittman. Who cares? But hey, keep Naylor, because Naylor you're not going to get anything for anyway, and he's really crafty.
Okay.
All right, bro.
To be honest, I think great Kraft because I have Moose in my bench. I think he's gonna do pretty solid this year with no Jonu Smith.
He'll be better. He'll be okay.
He'll be okay. Yeah. Don't worry. Loveland's got your back. And bro, at the worst case scenario, if you needed to go in a direction like trading Loveland, I'm not saying trade him lightly because this is a premium, but if you could get your hands on a Tyler Warren and something in a 2-for-2 deal where you're trading Loveland for Warren, and in that trade, because it's a downgrade in everyone's eyes by a country mile, they're rounds and rounds apart, that you could potentially upgrade Hendy or Harvey into this Cook or whatever. You could upgrade potentially Brissett into something, or just get it straight up a player 2-for-1. You trade Loveland for Fannin or for Tyler Warren and get like Olave, Ladd, Egbuka,
so
something,
what's the deal
like that.
For CD?
Go the other way first.
Like, what?
You confused the guy.
What's a deal you can't refuse for CD? If you see that trade, if you added on something and you see that add on,
I don't want to do that deal. I don't want to do the other deal. Like I told you, it's like ripping cards, bro. You have no idea what's in the box. You're going to put yourself in the worst position if you don't land it. I'm not a big advocate of trading blindly for 2027s and 2028s and just hoping it all works out fine and dandy. You're trading blind, bro. You're trading elite talent like CD for blind value that may not land, and then you're screwed. This team can win, bro. You're about to tear it down. For what? You got it.
No, I'm taking your.
Go get JJ, bro. Go get JJ. Come back if we got to work another deal out, but go get JJ. That team makes you scary. All right, later, bro. Thanks for the super chat. Call in anytime, all right? Phone lines are open.
Thank you.
All right.
If Arthur doesn't have Patreon, he should try it for a month at least.
Yeah. Hey, Arthur, I hung up on you already.
Get a ton of help with that.
Yeah, Arthur, join the Patreon, bro. It's $10 a month. Cancel any time. Just try it. It's the price of a cup of coffee. You just super chat it. I assume you're okay throwing a bill or two at the show. So try the Patreon. It's 24/7 live chatting. You just go in there and go, hey guys, I need help with this Dynasty trade and the Dynasty topic. Try it out, bro. You'll absolutely love it. Sir Brooks, thank you for the super chat. Sorry it took so long to get to it, Sir Brooks. Sir Brooks says the following. Where is this? What screen was I on? There we go. I traded Brock Purdy and a third for Nico. Yeah. Well, Superflex. Yeah, I still like it. Dynasty Superflex. I have Lamar and Shuck Brissett. You're fine. Great trade. Great trade. I draft Nico ahead of Brock in a Dynasty startup, if that makes you feel better, and your depth makes me feel really warm and fuzzy at the quarterback position. So Brooks, you absolutely crushed that trade. 100%.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Got him.
All right, Travis, let me swing over to Bruce. Rock out, if you're there, call in. Bruce, you're loose. Go ahead. Final thoughts. Then Rock out's there. I want to get to Rock out.
My final thoughts is if you need help with trades or anything, go on thefantasyfootballshow.com.
Thank you, Bruce. I like that. Thank you. All right, Bruce, appreciate you. Tell your mom happy belated birthday. We'll wish your mom happy birthday for the whole week, all right? So, right. Happy day after her birthday, tell her. All right, later, Bruce.
Yep, later.
Bruce sounded down. You okay, Bruce? Call in if you need to talk, bro. Travis, final thoughts. Rock out if you call real quick. I'll answer whatever you got. Thank you, Sir Brooks. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Young. Thank you, Simi Valley. Who's chatting over on Rumble real quick, just to make sure. If I missed anything, I apologize. Rumble. Hag in the building. Heisman, appreciate you being here. Hag 420, man. Go ahead, Travis, you're live. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, now that we saw free agency with, Walker and ETN signed, so that limits a couple big spots for running backs. Tennessee obviously being the most obvious for Love. What do you think the chances the Giants take him? And then beyond that, do you think anyone besides him and Price go in the first round? Running backs.
I don't. Let me merge Rock out in. Sorry, I had to merge Rock out in. I don't know.
Feels like no, but
I feel like Price.
I know it's hard to say, but
I don't think Mike Washington.
Price will go in the first, but
I don't think Mike Washington. He should have impressed everybody to go at the end of the first, but I don't know that he did, which is weird to me because he looks so good. He broke all the expectations and shattered them into pieces. Yet maybe pro days coming up will definitely help put the cherry on top for that. But right now it does. Yeah, it feels like Price is going to be. I would say there's a chance he's in the 30, 31, 32, but more likely 33 to 40. And that would be the second running back. That's kind of the way I'm feeling, but man, anything can happen. And I sure hope a running back does go in the second round or first round that is not named Love, because I always root for the running backs to go high. But I think we're probably looking at more likely 33, right where Javonte Williams got drafted. I think it was 34, 35, 33, something like that. That's where I see him going.
Yeah, it's nice because if that's the way it goes, which I tend to agree it will, you're going to see, a guy like a Coleman or Emmett Johnson or something slip into the fourth round.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good because these elite running backs not named Love or elite capable. And there's one or two elite capable running backs in this crew, regardless of what the Excel Eric show told you. Hey, there's just no elite movers in this. You're having these teams you're seeing here in round one at the top 10, majority of them going to be in a position to grab them for sure. But if they fall past this, because the Price is the only one to go at the top of 2, and the second round looks a little different, but you start getting into this territory where if they fall too far, Detroit's there, late to mid second. You start looking at these playoff teams that have running backs. All of them have running backs. All of them have good running backs. And it's damn, man, where they're sitting there looking at Jadarian Price sitting at the bottom of 2 and he shouldn't have fallen, or Mike Washington, and we're just going to get some parades rained on. Harvey, I almost can guarantee you that we're not going to be happy on draft day with Harvey. We're just not.
Yeah,
and we move on.
I think they will take someone on top of Dobbins. I don't think Dobbins is their only answer.
Yeah, I just think we're going to be upset. So prepare for it. And then if we're not, we're not. And if they do take somebody and Harvey's value tanks, well, then there's a new entry point that we could argue and say, hey, league winner, sleeping giant, midseason monster Harvey. Scoop him up at the end of your draft. But someone's parade's going to get rained on hardcore from the rookie running backs falling. If you picture this being the second round, in this territory here, or third round, but hopefully the beginning of round 2, where there's teams like Washington, and I think Washington has their top of 2, don't they? Or did they get rid of that?
I think they're missing their second.
Yeah, we don't got it too. Washington don't got two.
What about?
They only have 6 picks in the draft.
What about Tennessee?
We got a 1 and a 3 and then a 5 and.
Does Tennessee have their number 4 in the second round?
Tennessee has 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So you know what Tennessee reminds me of?
35 and 66.
Tennessee reminds me of the Patriots, where they could have drafted Genty, didn't, then drafted Hendy. So if the Tennessee Titans pass on Love, they might end up with Mike Washington, Jonah Coleman, Darian Price, and so then we end up saying, wow, that worked out pretty well. But it'll be a day 2 move because day 1 is only round 1. So we'll walk out of round 1 going, Tennessee didn't take Love, and maybe they ended up taking Darian Price. We're like, wow, okay, never mind. Day 2, let's go.
Right.
So,
which would be good, but then where does Love go? Which is scary.
Okay, let's just real quickly, and then I got to get out of here. Did Rockout end up?
Giants scare the hell out of me.
Rockout end up calling?
Rockout's on the line.
Oh,
yeah, he's here.
Oh, that was Rockout. Why? Rockout, I swear, I don't mean it to be offensive, but first of all, Bruce is good people. Rockout is good people. So for whatever reason, on my phone line, I don't know why, I mix up Bruce and Rockout all the time. I don't know why. I can't wrap my head around it. You guys are both really likable people. I don't know. I don't know what it is. For a minute there, I thought Bruce is on the line. I'm like, it's not Bruce, it's Rockout.
I don't know. I guess I got to start yelling.
Yeah.
And change my voice.
You both are very I want to say you're both very, what's the right word? Like, just very pleasant. Yo. I'm sure I think Rockout probably doesn't get angry all the time. I could see Bruce getting angry off of the phone line, but at least on the phone line, Bruce is very polite. You could yell at Bruce and he'd just laugh. You could yell at Rockout, he'd just laugh. Anyways, what I was going to say was, let's have this conversation. Then I got to get out of here. That was what I was going to say. If we're talking worst case scenarios, Travis, you just mentioned it. If Jeremiah Love goes to the Giants, what are we feeling? Honestly, what are we doing? What are we doing with Love's value, his ranking, the expectation? If he goes to the Giants, how much do we bump him down? We talked about those running backs earlier. Gibbs, Bijan, Gibbs, doesn't matter. And then Love was in the mix for the 3rd, 4th, 5th overall player in redraft, let alone Dynasty. What happens if Love is a New York Giant? Because that is our worst case scenario, and it's possible. They're talking about it.
He's got to fall behind a lot of them. And then Scadaboo has to plummet too.
Does Love in New York fall past Gibbs, Bijan, Genty, Hampton, HN, JT, CMC, Chase Brown, Walker, James Cook? Does that mean Love is outside the top 10?
I mean, there's an argument for it for sure.
Possibly.
It's scary, bro.
As far as drafting wise,
because they're not going to get rid of Scadaboo because he's on a rookie deal, and no one's going to give up a bunch of picks for him. So that's the problem I see. Guys,
vote in the chat where you rank Love if he's in New York, because they're talking mad about this right now, like crazy. Just we got to draft. And we don't know how much is coming from the team officially, but it's all over the place. It doesn't feel like it's ever shot down. Not that you need to, because if someone's saying, Smitty's going to draft, like if I'm the GM, Smitty's going to draft Mekhi Lemon, I would be like, yes, I'm so glad everyone thinks that. Yep, that's it. You guys got me pegged. There's no way I'm correcting the record and be like, I don't like Mekhi Lemon. And then they're like, oh, okay. Like, why would you give up that opportunity to deceive people? But I don't know, man. I just let's see what Silver says. Silver says Love would be picks 40 through 50, Scat 80 to 90. Man, the fantasy world would. I don't think there's another nutsack kick with greater magnitude than Love going to the Giants in the last 5 years. Because the expectation is so great, and Scadaboo's too good, and Nagy's too bad. And the mere decision of, and I'm not saying Nagy has a lot of pull here because Nagy's the offensive coordinator. He didn't get a big say on who they bring in. But the fact that Harbaugh picked Nagy as his offensive coordinator, and then the fact that Harbaugh would draft Love, not understanding the assignment or the situation, would mean that Harbaugh is so far gone, and the game has passed him by so long ago, and we just didn't realize it, you know? And the fact that the Ravens felt that way about Harbaugh, Lamar felt that way about Harbaugh. They wanted him out of there. And, you know, if they do draft Love, they're out of touch. They don't know what in the hell they're doing. And that's hard to say because I love Jeremiah Love so much. I would want him as well. But I don't think I would do something different. Like if I was to take Jeremiah Love, and I seriously would consider it, and I know it sounds like a totally hypocritical statement, but I would trade Scadaboo. I'd figure something out. But the way that they would do it wouldn't be the same way I would do it. They would play both of them, rotate them around a little bit, ruin both their values. Neither one would get in a rhythm. I wouldn't do that at all. I would say Scadaboo's got some trade value. I'd figure something out. I would. I'm not, and I'm not saying I wouldn't roll with Scad either. Like and you know, a rotation, I understand it, but I don't think Harbaugh is doing it in a way that's going to work. If you force me, let's say they draft Love and they have Scat, they didn't trade either one. You can't trade either one, and you make me the decision maker, coach in chief, everything of the Giants. I would make it work. I would, but Love would get so much attention. Scadaboo would be, unfortunately, you know, on the back burner, help out, spell him, but I don't think that's what they would do. I think that they would ruin both of them. That's because I think the game's passed Harbaugh by. I don't think Harbaugh knows what he's doing. I mean, his season is on the line through Matt Nagy. Like Nathaniel Hackett in Arizona, offensive coordinator, second dumbest hire in the NFL. So LaFleur's decision making already a little in question. I hope it's, you know, just an oversight. LaFleur's calling plays so Hackett doesn't impact the Cardinals like Nagy impacts the Giants. Nagy's calling plays. To my knowledge, I don't know. Harbaugh's not calling plays. If Matt Nagy's calling plays, why in the hell not calling plays? Why in the hell do you hire him? Because now you're a quarterback, your assistant, head coach calling plays. Like, what do you? I'm assuming that Nagy's calling plays.
Gotta be.
He's got to be, yeah. So like this is moronic. The only hope we have is that he doesn't even last the year, and they pull his duties like Stefanski twice in Cleveland. He was so bad. You hope that they just pull Nagy's play calling duties by like week 5 or 6, and they find their Ben Johnson, you know, somewhere. Who's third in command in New York?
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, New York coaching staff. Who is going to be the hidden gem over there? Offensive coordinator Nagy, defensive coordinator no, assistant head coach is Chris Horton. They're in some trouble, bro. They're in some trouble. I don't know, man. It should have been
maybe Brian Callahan would probably be the next guy in line. I don't know. Passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things could get messy. And that's the problem with Love, is that he is so talented that any one of these teams could go, oh, geez, we didn't expect him to fall into our laps. We better just take him.
Yeah.
You know, there's the two trains of thought. So there's certain teams that would just not even think of a running back. Oh, we got a good defense, offensive line, whatever. We're not thinking of that. But then there's another team where it falls in the lap. And trouble.
Let's just hope, like Silver just said, our dream comes true. Our dreams come true. My number one landing spot is Washington for Loveland. Or I'm sorry, for Love. And that would make Rock Out completely happy. Rock Out, one thing I don't forget is that you're the Washington.
I don't forget.
Tennessee would be second choice for New Orleans is off the table. KC's off the table. LA, honestly.
They're too far down.
LA, I know everyone's going to say, well, what about Kyron? But it's like, look, we know that they would use Love. You know, I don't know that Harbaugh would. The thing is, like, how does Harbaugh take him at 5 and not use him full time? I don't know. That's a great question. But the problem is Nagy's the offensive coordinator. So how does it happen? I'll just point at him. I mean, that's how it happens. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they take him and then Seattle is buried in the third
maybe
back or whatever. But
maybe. I still think it'll show that they don't know what they're doing. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. Anything else real quickly? And then we'll see you tomorrow. I'm not going to do Dynasty tonight, but tomorrow we'll be back on Dynasty.
No, thanks, guys. Later, Rock Out. Thanks, Smitty. Bye.
Rock Out, you good?
Yeah. What would your thoughts if Love went to Arizona or Tennessee? I know it's not ideal, but it's better than the Giants because it's not crowded.
Well, Love's not going to Arizona anymore because of Algier. I think that's evident. Tennessee's second best choice. Washington, then Tennessee. Those are my two favorite spots in that top 10.
Yeah.
All right. Rock Out. We'll see you later, pal. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right,
cool.
Later, bro. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, DeBalt. Thank you, Simi Valley. Thank you, Doobie. Vampy. Appreciate you. Smitty Super Chat. Oh, did I not get to this one? Arthur, I'm sorry. Arthur, you still there? Arthur said he added Zay and this year's 1.6 as well. I mean, Arthur, again, man, I don't want that trade. I just don't. I know you're getting 3 first-rounders essentially now, but those are just numbers, bro. Like 1.6, what is it? I mean, it could be Sadiq, but in Superflex tight end premium, will Sadiq be there? If he is, maybe. Travis, what do you think on that? I just don't know in Superflex premium Sadiq would be there. I think he would go 4 or something like that, which I think you might have, but I don't know, man. You don't even need Sadiq. Well, it doesn't matter though, bro. It's tight end premium. You could start him in a flex and trade someone or whatever. But Arthur, let me ask you this question. Can you get JJ for what we talked about? Because if you can, that's a home run and you're competitive. You make this trade, you're tearing it all down. You're opening up a random box and you're ripping the box, hoping you get an elite player in there. And you might not. You might get a horrible box, horrible draft picks, and there might be not a player in the box that is worth any value, the cards, hence the picks you make. And you might screw yourself. Just tell me, can you get JJ? If you could get JJ, this conversation's already over because your team is off the hook. You make this trade, your team is trash this year. And I can't do it, bro. It's not even good enough to land you the one necessarily because you still have Mahomes, you still have Brissett, you still have Pickens, you still have Loveland, you still have Kraft, you still have you're not going to be the worst team in the league, but you're not winning. You're not winning. You do get JJ. You're good. Go get JJ, Arthur. The trade is 50-50. Smitty came to me with what? He came to me with offering JJ. But answer the question: can you get the JJ deal done? If so, then this other trade's gone. It's not. I'm not even going to entertain it. You're getting 3 first-rounders for CeeDee Lamb, but one of them's the 1.6. I don't know how I feel about that pick because you're talking about Love, Sadiq, and a tight end premium. He could be the second pick. Jordan Tyson. And then you're talking about what running back, what, Mekhi Lemon or what if Tate are both in bad spots. The 1.6 doesn't guarantee me anything. Where's this other something I didn't like it. Before I leave, answer that question. Can you get the JJ deal done? If so, that's the deal. See you all. Arthur, he's trying to get you to do the deal, bro. He's trying so hard because he knows he's getting CeeDee Lamb. He knows his pick's going to be trash. If you do that, then one of them's eliminated. If you can get CeeDee Lamb or JJ, why are we even talking about this, bro? Go get JJ. And Silver's saying you don't need wide receivers, you need running backs. It is a multiple flex league, so he can put in Pickens, CD, and JJ. And one of Pittman or Naylor or Hunter, he's fine, bro. He's fine. Go get that JJ deal done. Don't do the other one. I'm telling you, you're taking too many gambles. Please come back tomorrow and tell us you have JJ. See you all. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. I'll be back in the future show to say I got JJ live. Nice. And only do it if you like JJ. Don't make me twist your arm. If you hate JJ and you think the situation is going to be trash, by all means, pass on it. But, bro, I'd take JJ in a heartbeat. And Travis would take JJ. You have the whole chat telling you, go get JJ. Don't do this other trade and smash and win your league, bro. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, Arthur.